Hey guys, this is Blogger the Hut. Lately I've been thinking about The Last Jedi, especially as it's coming out on home release. And I want to talk about some of the mysteries that were solved by this film. Now, I know a ton has been made about the mysteries that weren't solved by this film. I absolutely loved The Last Jedi, but I can't deny that it did leave some big questions unanswered, particularly around Supreme Leader Snoke. There's a ton we just don't know about him. He was set up in one film and then abruptly killed off in the next. We don't know his species. We don't know his age. We don't know his full name. We don't know his planet of origin. We don't know why he's so powerful in the Force. And we don't know how he became the leader of his organization. And we don't know if he's Mace Windu or not. Which is, that's a pretty big deal until you stop for a second and realize it's exactly the same with Yoda. I mean, okay, I think Yoda's probably not Mace Windu. But apart from that, there's still a lot of mystery about the character and we're okay with that. But anyway, there were a lot of mysteries unsolved by The Last Jedi. Some of them bother me more than others. But I want to talk about 3 mysteries that were solved by the film that I'd been wondering about at least. And hey, maybe you had too. So let's dive into it. Number 1. What happens when BB-8's head falls off? Now, come on. You've got to admit it. You were wondering that. The whole way through The Force Awakens, especially in that Jakku scene with the air raid, and there's that one scene where BB-8 goes flying and he's off camera and you're like, did his head fall off? Did it not? We've been wondering that since day one, and especially if you've got the Sphero toy and its head's constantly getting knocked off, you think, what happens in the film? We got an answer to that, let's not glaze over that. We've been wondering about that. I know I have, and we got an answer, a definitive answer, and that is he magnetically pulls it back to his own body. And we got to see that firsthand in that scene where the hangar gets attacked by Kylo Ren. So, so we see that. So he obviously increases the magnetic pull in his body part and pulls the head back to himself. Now, obviously BB-8 doesn't have a face per se, but I like to imagine in his mind's eye that he's really like scrunching. He's like doing a Hiro Nakamura time travel face from Heroes. He's really making that effort and pulling that head back to his own body. I'd also like to imagine if they got really separated that, the head could tap into security feeds and maybe you'd see this BB-8 ball like rolling its way around the ship until they eventually got reunited. But anyway, so big mystery solved. What happens when BB-8's head falls off? Now we know. Mystery number 2, and this is probably one that only I've been wondering about, but why is BB-8 one of a kind? Poe specifically mentions that BB-8 is a one-of-a-kind model, and I've been wondering about that, especially because basically a lot of the events in The Force Awakens are Poe's faults. He gets a one-of-a-kind droid with a custom paint job that he takes on a secret mission, and then this droid is easily identifiable by the Resistance, and, more importantly, the First Order, wherever they go. But why is he one-of-a-kind? Now, I think we do get an answer, or a possible answer anyway, in that all the other BB models in the film have these kind of flat disc-shaped heads. If you think about BB-9E, the First Order model, and also BB-4 and 2BB-2, the 2 Resistance models seen briefly in the background, they both have these kind of disc-shaped heads, whereas BB-8 has the more traditional R2 style domed head. So I think, until we see it otherwise, I guess that's that mystery solved for me. That's what, to my mind, makes BB-8 one of a kind. And the last mystery is, again, one I'm sure, when you're playing as kids, you were wondering about this one. What happens when 2 equally strong Force users pull on a lightsaber? Okay, now the mystery's, it's not a big answer. I think it's probably what we were all expecting, but it breaks in half and it kind of explodes a bit. And again, these are things we've been thinking about. When you've been whacking each other with sticks and pretending to use the Force, you were thinking, what would happen if we really had the Force and we pulled this thing? And now we know, there's that explosion of energy as it's released, and then there's the thing is cracked inside. So we get to see that at last. And, a bit like a Christmas cracker. I mean, that would have been a really cool Easter egg, actually, if you zoomed in and you could see like a plastic mustache and a really bad joke on the floor. Maybe it is, I don't know. But anyway, so, let's concentrate on the positives. There were some really big mysteries in The Last Jedi. Now they're solved. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Do check out my blog where I've got some other videos and posts, and also follow me on Twitter. But for now, thanks again for watching. Goodbye.